Hello, everyone. Welcome back to SoulJourney. Today I have Kamaljeet over here, and we'll be going over the book Life in the Multiverse and concluding with chapter 9. And it's laws of the spirit world, rules and regulations in the higher dimension. So welcome back, Kamaljeet. How are you doing today?
Thank you for having me, Vani. Yes, I'm good. Last time, this chapter 9 is actually so extensive, and we couldn't cover the last section on laws of the spirit world, life and death. What is so yeah, let's cover that today in a little more depth with it.
Okay. So my first question would be is according to Bapuji, what is the true nature of the soul and what happens after our physical death?
Yeah, basically Sanatan Dharam, now commonly recognized, as Hinduism. People say it's Hinduism, but originally it is Sanatan Dharma, the root of all life, the culture of all life. So it says that the soul or the Atma is immortal. It is eternal and indestructible, means it cannot be destroyed. So it is there, it is created and it is there. Once the human body, the physical body dies after death, the soul leaves this body, the physical body, and enters the subtle body made of ether, that is called Akash, air, that is Vayu, and fire, that is Agni. So these are the three elements the soul will possess. The soul itself, once it leaves the physical body, it is composed of three elements, whereas the physical body is made of five elements, So the other two elements in the physical body are earth and water. And attachment of the soul, to the physical realm, because when it was in the physical body, it binds it to its home or family. And so that is why souls that were very had too many desires, they were very close to their family members or friends or their environment or what they created in the physical body. So for them to return into higher dimension is slightly difficult because they are still being pulled, they're drawn to the physical elements. So they tend to remain in the physical familiar places, of the lower worlds. And to think about it, many people believe that death is an end. This perception is based on the teachings of their religion. Many, certain religions believe that once the body dies, that's the end.
Yeah.
Whereas the Sanatan Dharma believes that the soul does leave there's an element from the physical body that was in the physical body. There's an eternal part that leaves the body. And so this is how Behad Gyan also explains that death is just a transition. It is like you're changing your daily clothes. The soul, once it leaves the body, if it is too attached to the earthly realms, it will come back in another human body, maybe in the same family. Yeah.
That's beautiful. So the next question would be, how do desires and attachments affect the soul's journey in the subtle world?
Strong desires are imprinted, like I said, in the soul's body, where once it is because of its connection to the physical realm, to the earthly realm. And these desires have imprints in the air element of the soul. Like the soul is made up of air element, it is made of ether, and it is made of the fire element, right? So the desires of the soul, unfulfilled desires, are retained in form of some kind of a you can call it as an imprint or a memory in the air element, and it causes the air element to get some weight, because there is something in it, it has got something that desire itself causes weight.
Okay.
So that is one thing. And then the weight pulls down the soul. One is it has weight that itself pulls it down, and it gets pulled down due to the Earth's gravity and limiting its ability to move into the higher dimensions, which are very light. We have discussed in our earlier chapters, the lighter the soul is, it can travel into higher dimensions accordingly. And so, desires will lead the soul wandering. Even it can even enter bodies of family members who are there in their physical form. They are alive, moving around. It can disrupt their lives.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes these souls can even enter into anybody's bodies if the desire is very strong, or if there's a lot of anger. It can cause a lot of disruption in either in the family member's body or in any other body that cause some problem or cause some grievance to the soul when it was in its physical life.
Yeah.
To fulfill fulfill the unfulfilled wishes. Just because, not that they really get fulfilled, but it can be in the form of revenge or to help, can be anything. And souls are also trapped in loop in this, one can say it's a vicious cycle. It's a loop due to lust, greed for fame, could be also greed for wealth. Food, some souls are very much attracted to drinks and food, certain food habits, passion and other vices in the body form. So these souls will possess the bodies of people who are weak-minded, fickle-minded, and if their aura is not very strong, they will create this. In fact, just today I was talking to another person. I met her. And we were discussing about this, and I also had a podcast with one very nice soul, enlightened soul, Sal Rackley. The part 2 of that also, I would highly encourage, if people are watching this, they should go and watch that, conversation podcast with
We can
Sal
link it
Rackley.
on the bottom.
Yeah, so yeah, we can put the link there. And he has also discussed how souls get moved from one body to another, how they get they can walk in, they can enter any body like that. So it is important to take charge of your own soul and the energy your soul can reflect. So these are demonic qualities, one can say that, and they attract similar, like demonic souls will attract demonic souls, right? And so weaker the body, demonic, I will say, people who have got weaker soul bodies or weaker auras.
Yeah.
They are more likely to even be possessed by similar wandering departed souls who want to satisfy their lust but do not have a physical body. Anger, ego, positive and negative are all a part of it, as all action and in intention, thoughts or physical invoke a reaction. All thoughts will invoke. It's an action. When the moment you project a thought, it is an action, and every action has a reaction.
Yeah.
So the moment you realize this is happening, even if you get it in your instinct, you must realize it is a trap, that this is what you're going through, and you must consciously take steps to steer away from certain habits and behaviors in your life, and seal your aura. That is what Bapuji has always said, that work on your own soul self, gain soul power through meditation, and seal your aura. And you have any questions?
No, I think it's just important to let go and be very mindful of what we're thinking. But it's scary to know that some of these souls can come into your body and take over. So yeah, like thinking about being strong mentally, I I guess it's like it's really important. So all of this doesn't affect you. And
Yeah, I was talking to one homeopathic doctor too, more than a year ago. In fact, she also mentioned that people are getting affected more and more nowadays. And the reason what Bapuji explains is that now there are so many people, life on earth is so old, and so many souls are being born, taking in human body, and then they die. And then where
Yeah.
can they go if they are not light, then they are trapped in the earth realm, right?
Yeah.
So what else can they do? Because they have not done any work on themselves, and they were trapped in a world of desires, anger, or whatever it may be. And maybe they were very good souls, but they wanted something back in lieu of their goodness. So that made them sad, and that has, that is also pulling them down. So human form makes it possible to make changes through knowledge and working on the self. Once you're in a human body, you get the understanding, you learn, or somebody's telling you something, or like ascended masters and spiritual teachers like Bapuji. They are telling people, and one should try and pay attention. The moment you get a message, at least one should care to listen to it and make changes through knowledge and work on self through correct meditative practice and affirmations. Affirmations really help. I remember, there was one lady from North America. I took a program a few years ago because I just took it because it was on Mind Valley. Mind Valley is one of the apps that's doing a lot of good things. So I took her, and she would give us affirmations like how to clear the weight on your, in your energy field. She says if you're not moving forward in life, means there is some energy that is, some forms of thoughts and energy that are stuck in your body. And that's why you also feel blocked. So she gave us some affirmations to delete and uncreate, but to do that, one should be in soul consciousness. So that's something we'll talk about it later. So these affirmations help the soul to remember its true limitless potential, and attachments in all forms are a setback to its growth. So these affirmations are written in such a way, if you get to read them.
So she writes those affirmations for you?
She has also given a lot of affirmations. Bapuji has also given, her affirmations were of a different nature to clear your energy field towards a certain goal, But Bapuji's affirmations are to self-realize and recognize that you're a soul with unlimited power. He says that you have got the power of, trillions of suns. That kind of power your soul has. You can create universes. But the thing is, you have to wake up to that potential. Even if you have, and you don't recognize it and you don't sense it, it's of no use. So you have to work on it, like you have an old shoe, but yet it is very new because you never used it. So the moment you clear off the dust, you will see that it is a new shoe, right? So it's just that the soul has always been there. It has always been powerful, but so much of dust on it that we don't see the truth. Like a mirror also covered with dust. You can't see your face in the mirror if it is, dusty and dirty. So, and then doing bad things is negative, of course. It will have its karmic repercussions. When people are doing an act, they're aware, they're aware that this is, am I doing this thing? Is it correct? One does get an instinct that what I'm doing is not right. Because the true nature of the soul is pure and pure in the positive aspect. But even doing good with an expectation also holds the soul in its matrix of this earthly realm. You get trapped in this matrix because you're expecting something back. So like what you are doing good, and if you're doing good with no expectation, like, okay, this person needs help, I will help him, because that is my job as a human. I am in this human body and I see somebody suffering and I need to help that person. And beyond that, I should not carry that memory back with me that I did it.
Okay.
The thought of it that I did it itself creates an expectation,
Yeah.
a form of ego. That's another weight. So it holds the soul in this matrix of earth. You can't break through it. So live without an expectation and desire, with only one goal, that is to recognize your true self, that I am. I'm a soul, I'm a Paramatma, I'm a divine, I'm a higher soul, I'm a Paramatma, supreme soul, and then spreading the vibrations of peace throughout the cosmos. This is the higher goal of transformation and peace throughout. And this helps the soul also to recognize and remember its true attribute. The true original state of the soul is peace, supreme peace. And, this is Bapuji's mission as well. I must say that his purpose of transforming the entire multiverse to bring stability, peace, immortality. He's here to awaken us all, and special souls who are lost. Who are these special souls? These are there were 33 million gods and goddesses. We have discussed it in the previous chapters as well, that gods and goddesses came down to earth to just visit and enjoy their lives, but they got trapped in the human body. And, then there is this the laws of karma apply to the human body, so they got trapped in this cycle loop of karma. And we will discuss more in the further chapters as well. And it seems unbelievable when I'm talking that, what is this, but when one looks into the historical and they look into what is given in the scriptures, also it has been detailed out. And when you understand Behad Gyan, it is Behad for a reason. And this knowledge brings in light and, gives proper insight. So one should let go while one is alive. If there's any attachment, any anger, any grudge, or any expectation, one should let go. Okay, like I did it, it's okay, it's done, it's gone, and I'm done with it. And there are other ways also of doing that, but letting go is very, very important.
Yeah. A lot of, it is important. It's important. It's hard, but it's important. So my next question would be is, how do religious beliefs shape the afterlife journey of souls?
Well, followers of Sanatan Dharm continue spiritual practices even after death. How they do it? Because their bodies becomes the soul body is a little lighter. It goes into the realm of where there are slightly elevated souls, and they are still working on them. And Christian and Muslim souls often wait in graves, believing because they believe in the judgment day. They believe one day the spiritual leader will come. Will Christ, Allah will come and pull them out. So they form subtle. Then there are souls that form subtle groups and roam around until their desires are fulfilled or redirected. So belief is an influence, because the family in which we were born and the belief we grew up with, like supposing I was born in a certain family, I learned something, but I saw something else, and it made more sense to me. I started following that, and I learned, and I grew up with that. So that becomes my belief, because I believed it, right? Belief influences behavior, and not just in life, but after death too, because you carry your thoughts and what you have actually done with you when you die. You don't take this body, you don't take the material wealth, but you take your karmic knowledge and your other lessons with you.
Okay, that's good to know. So then, what is the role of subtle body, soul weight, and scientific observations in this journey?
Yeah, very interesting question. Soul weights us. In fact, there was a time when I never realized that soul would have any weight. But reading here, it said that scientists tried to notice, and then they said that a soul probably has about 65 grams of weight, because that is the weight loss when the body dies. But the scriptures and Sanatan says that soul is weightless. And Bapuji has explained that soul actually is weightless. The soul, whether it is created from supreme light or supreme element, on the subtle or the subtle ether element, the soul does not have weight. When a soul leaves its physical body upon death, the subtle body also leaves the physical body with the soul. And the subtle body is the body that will consist of Akash Tattva or the ether element, Vayu Tattva or the air element, and the Agni Tattva or the fire element. These elements may possess some weight that is just about 20 to 25 grams. So drop in weight of the physical body is due to these subtle body elements. The soul itself doesn't have any weight. So when there is air element, like we said, when in the air element your thoughts are there, they will create more weight, right? So when there is air element, the soul cannot ascend higher due to the heaviness of the air element. So spiritual efforts are required. While the best efforts are done when the soul is in its physical body. The moment it starts receiving some information, it should work on it. But sometimes they don't. Sometimes there are souls that are elevated, and then they can work more on themselves in the higher realms. So when spiritual efforts are done, the body is able to travel to higher dimensions. And the subtle body becomes heavy due to the innumerable desires too, which get produced in the air element, as we discussed before. So become desireless, or this is also known as Nashta Moha, means you destroy all the desires without any desires. It will help when you become like that, then the soul will transform itself into a very light, subtle body of positive vibrations because it doesn't have any desires. So this will help it to ascend in the higher dimensions, and soul ascension is affected by the spiritual refinement, not by the mass. And though modern science and ancient wisdom may meet, sometimes, in certain subtle truths, more so in the future. That's what Bapuji is saying, because now they are talking on similar, on the conscious level also. Let's hear what down the time, as the time passes, how things will.
Yeah, there are lots of talks about consciousness and what that is, and AI, and the difference now, and understanding consciousness, and is everything else conscious, and all that. So
yeah,
lots of people talking about it. So my next question would be: is you mentioned that the soul rises to higher dimensions. So is that considered freedom? I've also heard about the souls that can attain Mukti or Jeevan Mukti. How does Bapuji explain that?
Yeah, very interesting question. This is something which a lot of people, even I, used to get really confused about it. It was after multiple, teachings, listening to multiple videos of Bapuji, I could really understand this. So through deep meditation, remembrance, and divine knowledge, spiritual efforts to gain this knowledge on earth, one can understand and try to, travel into the higher dimensions. And the soul, Mukti will depend on what was the soul's origin in the first place.
Could be like Mukti means freedom, right?
Mukti is freedom when the soul leaves the body, but when it is wandering, it is not Mukti, right? Because it's still wandering in the earthly realm or in certain realm. So all souls who have the knowledge of incorporeal world or the Param Dham move towards the Himalayan mountains and meditate upon Shiva and Shakti. They may ascend and above, live in the energy spheres. There are above the Himalayan realms, there is a sphere of a subtle realm of these pure souls who are praying there. And this is a subtle realm where these pure souls are there, and there is a sphere. It is called a gola. It's an energy ball where they are living there, and they are meditating, and they are teaching other souls as well. And they are working towards further refinement through their own spiritual practices at that level. So groups of souls also meditate here. Some reach higher realms, and like Brahmapuri and Shivpuri and Param Dham. So Mukti happens when when the soul reaches the Creator, and it dissolves in the Creator. The energy of the Creator completely
That is the end.
and it's free, and it ceases to exist. It is total Mukti.
Okay.
But when the soul has reached a certain level of attainment of spiritual knowledge and lightness, it goes into the Param Dham, and then it in the Param Dham it retains its own existence as well.
Okay.
And by living with the Creator, that is what is known as Jeevan Mukti. So
Okay.
it is there. It is still there. Its identity is still there, and yet it is in the Param Dham, in the highest abode, and it is not moving back to the earthly realm. Depending on its level of creation, it can be Jeevan Mukt or Mukt. So if it totally dissolves, then it has lost its identity, and it depends on the Creator when the Creator is ready to create more. And or it can be it can live as being Jeevan Mukt, means being in the same realm, same abode, but having its own identity.
Okay.
But not everyone can attain Jeevan Mukti. It is quite, one really has to work, do the work on yourself, and realize what it is all about.
With hard work.
Yeah.
What are light and might in the soul's journey and liberation?
So Bapuji has explained, actually, he has explained it on a blackboard,
Okay.
It's a beautiful lecture that he has given. I will give the link to you. And the light itself is pure soul, the purest form of the soul. The original soul itself is the pure soul, and might is the power that surrounds it. Pure soul can be called as Shiva, and the might, the light, the power that this light is generating around itself, it's called might.
Okay.
And it is called Shakti. It is the power.
Yeah.
And so there are and might also records karma. One thing is there, because it's the form of Shakti, and it records karma and stores the soul's journey. It will store the soul's journey. And in the Param Dham, soul will shed all its layers and realize its true nature. Like I said, when the soul reaches the Param Dham, depending on its power and its capacity, it will shed all its layers, and it will realize its true nature. And that's the time, it becomes either Jeevan Mukt or it is totally Mukt. Just like the sun and its rays, Shiv and Shakti basically are inseparable.
Okay. So, what determines the final destiny of the soul in the multiverse?
Yeah, the soul can, only rise up to the destiny. Again, depends on from where it was created, at what level was it created. Was it created at the level of a multiverse? Was it created at the level of the great universe? Or maybe at a much lower level, at the level of the universe or galaxy or the solar system? So the soul can rise only up to the level of its origin. That is the solar system, galaxy, or the universe, or beyond, great universe, it depends. Like Bapuji has explained, the souls possess their own powers. They will have the power as per their creator at the level at which they were created, right? So when they are in their incorporeal form, it can merge with its creator. And many souls from far off universes are now humans, and they're confused because they came to Earth moving around, looking around like as visitors. They got trapped in the loop of the Earth system, and they are now humans. They're confused and lost. So knowing your true home is the key to returning there.
Okay.
Often this realization comes when the soul reaches its creator. When you really reach the creator, that's the time you realize that, okay, this is what they need. This was my creator, right?
Okay.
At that time they will realize. Before that, maybe they're still working on themselves to ascend into higher realms. So the moment you realize, generally it will be at that point you will realize, because otherwise you will have a quest to rise higher.
Yeah. So once you arrive over there, you will know that this is your.
This is my original home. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you mentioned a little bit about Jeevan Mukti. So how can one attain that in this life?
Jeevan Mukti is also, you get the power of that freedom while you are in this human body as well. One is that when you are in the Param Dham, you are still retaining your identity, and it's your choice where you dwell, right? So it is a liberation while you're still alive, freedom from the bondages. And Behad souls can travel across dimensions with free will. They have to attain the state, even if they are Behad souls. They still need to work on themselves, polish themselves each day. This state is the highest, in a way, like the soul, highest state of soul consciousness. And liberation doesn't mean that it is death. It means inner mastery. And this inner mastery is realization of being a powerful soul, being in Atma Swarup, being in soul consciousness. That is the inner mastery of recognizing who you are, who am I. That is the first step. And then it takes you, once you are in that stage, it will keep on guiding you. You will have the right support system within the subtle realms also. There will be, there will be transfer of information, thoughts, knowledge. You will be guided.
So then following that, what is the soul's journey from leaving the mortal body to attaining Mukti or Jeevan Mukti?
Yeah. So, when a soul leaves the physical body, it travels with the subtle body. Because the body is still retaining certain thoughts and what memories from the physical realm, right? So it travels with the subtle body unless it is spiritually evolved. And if the soul becomes desireless, means without any thoughts and without any wants or grievances, and has gained the spiritual knowledge, it may go beyond the lower astral layers. The lower astral layers will be just above the realm of the earth, and with intense effort, remembrance, and shedding of the subtle layers, it reaches the Param Dham. So it all, attaining Mukti or Jeevan Mukti is again, so we have to gain that spiritual knowledge. That is why Bapuji insists that Behad Gyan, Gyan Marg is very important, means the path of knowledge, the path of gaining the spiritual knowledge. Read the scriptures, and learn what spiritual masters have said, explained, learn that, understand that. And then with that, do your daily meditation. Meditative practices are beneficial once you have the knowledge. Otherwise, you can meditate for hours. Like Bapuji says, there are yogis who are meditating for years and thousands of years.
Yeah.
They have not been able to attain Mukti or Jeevan Mukti at all. Why? Because of the simple thing that they don't have the knowledge. It is important not, and there might be certain ascended souls who have come on this planet with previous knowledge, and
Yeah.
then they can directly, sometimes they just get the knowledge, they get downloads of information. How do they get it? They get it because of their work on their self, on their own self, in the previous months. Or maybe they have come from, like Bapuji says, from other universes. They are very
Yeah.
highly educated souls. They have come from other universes. So it could be anything, but yes, you have to gain that knowledge. And in the incorporeal state, they can then, with that knowledge, they can merge into its creator or attain Jeevan Mukti, living in supreme bliss without any bondages. And the journey will entirely depend on the soul's final thoughts also. Supposing if when a person in the physical form is dying and is worried about his family and is thinking about certain things, maybe his farms and his poultry farm and his animals, his children, his wealth, so he will come back. His final thoughts are there because he is stuck there. So it's the soul's karmic purity and soul power will depend, on the final thoughts, what it is going to take with it. So it will travel through various realms. It can go to, realms like Swarglok, Maharlok, Tapalok, and Brahmalok, Vishnupuri. I mean, these are the various higher realms. It is pure and it has attained that state of going to these realms. So one soul has to go through all these realms at some point or the other. And true freedom of the soul actually begins after death, but it is through the physical life we are living now.
So when we're like living and we're alive, it is our duty to learn about letting go of things, not having desires, and just learning to like try to get all the knowledge of with meditating and just like releasing all the wants and needs and the hate. So
yeah, one has to release all those, anything that is pulling you down. Supposing at night when you're sleeping and we are sleeping with the thought of it was a heavy day and I needed to do this, I did not accomplish this at the time of when you are leaving the body, you felt that you did not accomplish and you had those desires, you had some anger, you are carrying that with you. So you will be earthly bound and you will be coming back into the lower dimensions. So though right now is the age of confluence when people are ascending, a lot of people are spiritually very aware. They have you will see that I remember in my just a few years when I look back, we never found so many spiritual groups and people talking about it. But now in many places there are meetups and social networks based on just to gain spiritual knowledge, even if it is not the right way to do it, but they are heading towards that. They want to know more. They want to work on their own self. So this is very important. So yes, you have to let go of various attachments and thoughts, release them and work on your meditative state, work through your meditative state. You have to go inwards, learn and go inwards.
So I think my last question would be is how do last thoughts and breath influence the soul's next birth and destiny?
Yeah, partly we discussed, but the final thought during the last breath determines the next incarnation. For example, attachment to a pet, like as I said, may lead to rebirth, as an animal. I remember my father, he said that he had a dog when he was younger, and he was very fond of that dog.
Yeah.
But the dog, he couldn't, he remembered the suffering the dog had because the dog died in a very painful circumstances. He got infected,
Oh my God.
and it was too much, and that thing stayed on with him. He said, "I would never keep a dog or any pet because the suffering will stay with me till the end. I don't want." And then so this was probably one of the reasons, because he was already an ascended soul. And so this is another thing, because your mind is in the pet, right? And the state of the pet is of an animal. So the rebirth could be in the form of an animal. And soul groups, like I said, they become like they become like family members, and they live in golas or the spheres above the realm of the earth, above the Himalayas, and they meditate to break this cycle to rise higher. So there are many portals, even in fact, vortexes on this planet as well. I was talking to somebody. I met this lady today, and she said she was in Sedona, and she has learned that Sedona is a vortex, and she was sitting in a meditative state there, and she said she could feel the vibrations of the place. So it does
Where
make
is
a difference.
Sedona? Where is that?
Arizona.
Arizona. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if it is. Are there ancient ruins over there? Or no?
Yeah, it is not, but then it has got spiritual places, places of spiritual native interest that is there. So the old divine system of karmic judgment, where that was done by the Yamraj, the god of death, used to come down and decide, this soul was not good, so he's going to hell, and the other soul is good, he'll go to heaven. Yamraj and Chitragupt. That system has broken. Bapuji says that system doesn't work anymore. It's all computerized. It's all automatically done, because see, likewise, like the human realm is developing. Where were there? We never saw computers when I was a child. There was no computer. Computers came at a much later age, when I think I was in grade 6 or something like that. We got to then, and there were computers of as big as an apartment. One computer would be so big. So the system, even in the subtle world, has changed. So there is no Yamraj. It is automatically processed, and many of these Yamraj and Chitragupts have taken birth, human birth. So now the soul's destiny is determined by its own consciousness, knowledge, and sankalp, that is the intention, powerful resolutions. Their first day, the spiritual teacher or the guru, family members may be there to receive them. If you have a spiritual guru and you are connected to the guru or the spiritual teacher, he may come there to receive you at the time of death. Maybe if he's not there, then your family members will come. Bapuji says that the old system has changed, and divine knowledge also keeps changing and evolving with time. So likewise, these people will come and meet you, whosoever, but there will be somebody there to receive you. You will not be in the middle of nowhere. At times I used to think like that. So this was a question which I've asked many people.
Yeah.
And Behad souls with a strong, desire to ascend, with a strong sankalp and remembrance of the Sakar Swarup, that is the Atma Swarup, your own true self, and remembrance of the true self, the original creator God, through because we believe in Bapuji, so we will seek that the godly form through his or the light through him, And this can bypass gravitational pull and travel 100 to 500 kilometers. It can take you to 100 and 500 kilometers above the earth. It can take you far off. And from there, one can aboard, go aboard the Supreme Divine spacecraft for Behad Soul. Bapuji says, my spacecraft is there above the earth. Work on yourself and you can just board there. And he has also mentioned how many souls are there, and that craft will take everyone to the Param Dham in the incorporeal abode. So the reflection is the final moment of life is not a closing.
Yeah.
It is a launch. And your last thought becomes your soul's first direction in the afterlife. And you also have to work. If you have done no work, then thoughts will not really matter. Right? And
Yeah.
I've been feeling about it, like even through my prayer and practices, I also sense this. Yeah.
So well, that's beautiful. Thank you for that beautiful explanation, Kamaljeet. So in summary today, in closing, today's exploration revealed that life continues after death, and it's vaster and more complex than we could have imagined. But with knowledge, detachment, and inner purity, the soul can reclaim its path and merge with its creator. Let's remember our present thoughts create our future dimensions. So we will discuss chapter 10 next week. It's about our galaxy, and our solar system, and how it's all going to be coming back together. So I would say tune in again, and thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and message us if you have any questions, or leave us a comment and we'll be happy to respond to you.